At Direct Service Garage Doors, we are your one-stop shop for all things garage door. From garage door repair and broken spring replacement to new garage doors and openers, we do it all. We're proud to be among the highest-rated local garage door companies in all of Central Arkansas. Our highly trained technicians are available 24 hours a day at no extra cost to you. So if you have an emergency, call us today, 501-244-3667, or visit our website at directserviceoverhead.com. Don't wait days. We'll fix it now.
All right, let's do this. We got a little bit to talk about here. We got a schedule to discuss. Let's go ahead and get started. Let's just do it. 3, 2, 1. Yo. What's going on? Yeah, hope you guys are doing swell. I don't know why my screen looks a little tilted here. Okay, make sure you guys like, share, and subscribe. Of course, we're talking about the 2024 schedules. They have been released. Well, I mean, we're going to react to it together. We're going to kind of look at this. Someone in chat said they weren't sure. They were trying to read the room, so to speak, but their first reaction was that it was a good schedule. So make sure you guys like, share, subscribe, comment, tell me what you're thinking. Let's do an odd soul poll. Start a poll. What are we gonna call this thing? Hang on, let's refresh the screen first. My goodness. We're gonna go over obviously some of the things that stand out a little bit. Well, hold on. We'll get there. Start a poll. What's our poll here? I hadn't even given it because I fully expected to see a couple of teams on here that aren't here. Or at least one for sure. So, at first glance, the 2024 schedule is the easiest schedule in years for Arkansas? Question mark. It's a little bit of a stretch of a question, but there you go. At first glance, the 2024 schedule is the easiest schedule in years for Arkansas. So there you go. That's the Odd Soul Craft Bar and Pizzeria poll. There you have it. That actually ended up being pretty great. Shout out to the Odd Soul Craft Bar and Pizzeria located on Emma Street here in Springdale, Arkansas. Great stuff on tap. IPAs, local stuff, you name it, they got it, more than likely. Great pies, calzones, everything's just wonderful there. Great environment and a great staff. Stop by and tell them Ty sent you. Tell them you want to try a pie or calzone, whatever. I've never had anything there that I don't like. Also, the Direct Service Overhead Garage Door Company. If you're in Central Arkansas or Northwest Arkansas, hey, they got you covered, okay? Star City, not available in Star City, as we found out with Austin. Our Discord, our Tuss Talk with Ty Discord mod. But they offer free estimates, quality parts, affordable outcomes, hundreds of 5-star reviews. Give them a call today at 501-244-367. Okay? All right. Why don't you do that? Why don't you go hit them up? Don't forget, poll is up. So right now, we're rocking on some votes here. We'll do it one more time. I'll say it one more time. At first glance, the 2024 schedule is the easiest schedule in years for Arkansas, ? Now, I mean, I think, in the SEC era, I think some OGs will tell you that, people who are old enough to remember the like early mid-90s, Arkansas joined in the early Arkansas and South Carolina when they were added on, what was that, 91, you could probably argue, I mean, there were some good teams in the 90s. Tennessee had some pretty good teams, obviously, there in the late 90s. Alabama wasn't the Alabama that we know of them today, right? But they were still really good. Florida, of course, Steve Spurrier. I mean, they were pretty damn good. Arkansas found out the hard way in the SEC championship. Barry Lenny Jr. was the quarterback. They got absolutely trounced. It was ugly. It was not good. All right, let's read some comments here. I'm not going to go projecting wins because in this day and age, and I see Haas is already doing it, I'm not going to go projecting wins just yet because – man, so much can change thanks to transfer portal and the NIL stuff. So much can change in a single offseason. It is so difficult to project. Let's go ahead and throw the games or the schedule. There it is. There's the SEC schedule. Now, I don't have the complete schedule on the screen, but here's what it looks like so far. Wait, is this right? Hold up. This can't be right. They start off UAPB in Little Rock to start off the year again? No, I'm looking at this wrong. Someone tell me I'm crazy. They're starting off back-to-back. I missed that at first glance. I did not see that. August 31st against UAPB, they're playing that game in Little Rock. They're playing back-to-back. Because you already start off this year with Western Carolina at War Memorial in Little Rock. Did we know this before they leaked or before this information came out that they were playing UAPB? I don't recall. I mean, I knew they weren't done in Little Rock. I just didn't realize they were starting off back-to-back seasons with a game opener in Little Rock. We're all kind of – this is raw, man. I mean, this literally, if you're watching this later and after the fact, this is – I don't even think the SEC Network is done unveiling all the schedules yet, or they may have just gotten done. That's stupid. That's stupid. I don't like that. I don't like that one bit. Back-to-back years you're opening up in Little Rock? Why? I don't care who you're playing. Why are you opening in Little Rock? So you don't play a home game in 2024 until September 14th against UAB because September 7th. So here's the whole schedule. You play UAPB in Little Rock on August 31st. I do love August games. Don't get me wrong. I love it when you have a game in August. I don't know why. I guess because when that new month rolls over and it's August 1st, and you have a game at the end of the month, it's such an awesome feeling. It kind of makes the season feel sooner than it really is, you know. August 31st, UAPB in Little Rock. At Oklahoma State, UAPB in Fayetteville, September 14th, November 23rd, Louisiana Tech, and then you have LSU in Fayetteville. You do get 4 straight SEC games in Fayetteville. That's awesome. Now, that is good. I like that. LSU, Ole Miss, Tennessee, assuming this is right. Assuming this doesn't – I'm sure the way things go now, everything's subject to change. But it looks like at the moment, LSU, Ole Miss, Tennessee, and Texas are all back-to-back to back-to-back. So those are all right now. Of course, we know they're going to be in Fayetteville, but just in terms of those games. Then you're supposed to be at Auburn. You're supposed to be at Mississippi State. And then you're supposed to be at Mizzou. And then – Texas A&M. So is it possible that they play that? They're not going to replace that LSU A&M game at the end of the year. So, yeah, this is all subject to change. But they are playing LSU fairly early this year. So I mean, I don't know. If they closed out the year with A&M, that would be fantastic. If they played that as the last game, that would be fantastic. So these are your games. No Oklahoma, and obviously no Alabama. Fans are cheering right and left. I don't know how we're going to be looking at Texas and Tennessee. Those are the two big question marks. Well, really, Auburn. What about Mississippi State? Is it possible? Obviously, Leach is gone. The new guy, maybe he's Terminator. Maybe he's in at the right time. I don't know. I kind of have a sneaking suspicion that he strikes me as a 3-year kind of head coach. I could be wrong. Missouri, you never do well on the road against Missouri. Or you rarely do anyways, especially in, well, we know in football, but basketball is kind of the same story. If only the officials hadn't mucked that up towards the end, you probably could have swept Mizzou this year in basketball. But A&M to close out the year would be fantastic in Arlington. That would be awesome. This would be, I have to agree, this would be, if this is how the schedule ends up being, because I don't think these dates – here we go. We'll just read what this website says. I'm not going to read all this because this is a little lengthy to read. Let's see. Where do I want to start? The 2024 SEC opponents were determined based on two primary factors: traditional opponents and balance of strength of schedule, or of schedule strength. Balance of schedule strength was based on each school's conference winning percentage since the SEC's last expansion in 2012. Then if that's the case, this should be a bottom 4 schedule. I mean, let's be real. Since 2012, Arkansas's been a flaming. It's been a car wreck. It's been a decade-long car wreck with some highs but a lot of lows. The decade has not been kind to Arkansas athletics or Arkansas football. Oh, the laughing helps ease the pain. The winning percentages for the performance of Oklahoma and Texas in the Big 12 since 2012 were included in determining 16 positions ranked by winning percentage. So they should really have the 13th and 14th overall strength of schedule. Let's be real here. Big 12 ain't shit, hadn't been shit in a really long time. There was a period of time when Big 12 was respectable, but hasn't been, especially in the 2010s. You know, and I hate to keep trashing on these teams, but it's just the truth. You wouldn't have this quick turnaround at TCU, at Oklahoma State when no Jim Bob Mullet took over. You wouldn't have this kind of turnaround in the SEC. It just wouldn't happen. They wouldn't win like they do. Same could be said of Baylor. Have you noticed, like, every coach that's come in there has been able to kind of keep that program afloat? And I'm not, listen, kudos to them. But that wouldn't happen in the SEC. Not to the degree in which that it happened in the Big 12. It just wouldn't. I mean, good Lord. Listen to this. I mean, let's say that this does work itself out. Let's say that this is the schedule. LSU, Ole Miss with Lane Kiffin, you don't know what you're in for. They weren't what I thought they would be this year, but still. Ole Miss is maybe your weaker opponent here, but you still have Tennessee. And then you'd have Auburn at Auburn. You'd have a game like Mississippi State, who's, physically they're always pretty good. They may not have the talent. And then Texas A&M, who's had Arkansas's number. But then you'd have to throw in who? Alabama, right? This year, Arkansas's got to travel out to Gainesville, and that's going to be tough. But do you think with what the kind of schedule that Arkansas's had this past, especially the past 15 years, that programs, like I just mentioned a minute ago, those kind of weaker programs, Texas Tech had a good run, especially when Kiffin was there. Would it have been an easy rise as it was in the Big 12 in the SEC? Hell no. And I would make the same argument if you took those teams to the Big 10, because I do think the Big 10 is on the heels of the SEC. I still think the SEC has a step on them. I talk about that quite a bit when I'm on Mark Rogers' show. But, yeah, those two have to, you'd have to put those two as the weakest, obviously, I'm kidding. Vanderbilt would be at the bottom. But Arkansas would be at the bottom, too. They've been abysmal. Arkansas is set to host 7 games inside the state of Arkansas in 2023, so they kind of go over the schedule there a little bit. To guarantee 2024 season tickets, fans must renew their season tickets from the prior season. Season tickets for 2023 are now available, blah, blah, blah. So, yeah, UAPB, Oklahoma State, UAB, University of Alabama, Birmingham. Weren't they not a football program like 5 years ago? Louisiana Tech, that ought to be interesting. Louisiana Tech's one of those programs. I always find those type of games against Louisiana, the in-state Louisiana schools, interesting, whether it's Monroe, Lafayette, Louisiana Tech. LSU, Ole Miss, Tennessee, Texas. You're supposed to be at Auburn, at Mississippi State, at Mizzou, and then, of course, at some point you'll play A&M in Arlington. That would be fantastic. I just don't see them. I think that LSU A&M game, unless they moved it, and I just haven't seen it yet, but I think that's going to be your way to close out the year. Ole Miss, Texas, and LSU should be let's see. Ole Miss, Texas, and LSU should be our main opponents, says Will Lennox. Easiest SEC schedule for us in a minute. I would argue without Bama. I mean, you got Tennessee, which they're doing some damage over there. That coaching staff, you got to give it to Tennessee. Who knows what they look like? I'll tell you this much. Oklahoma and Alabama, or Oklahoma and Texas, I don't know if they want that smoke. Tennessee's been kind of on the rise. I mean, obviously, right? Who knows what Auburn and Mississippi State? You can argue there's several question marks because you could still have some coaching changes by the time 2024 rolls around. Could have some major transfers, right? This whole schedule could be lopsided. It could go down as the easiest schedule you've had since being in the SEC, too. It could be your hardest. I doubt it's going to be the hardest because you don't have Bama. You're not at Georgia. You're not in Athens. You're not going to Gainesville. Say what you want about Florida this year. I know we all kind of laugh at them, but Arkansas's never won down there in football. They've never won down there. And I think there have been some years where, well, we know a certain year under Petrino, Arkansas certainly looked like they were better, and they still found a way to lose that game. Yes, officiating played a major role in that game too. So there you have it. You have it on your screen there. Those are your SEC opponents. I cannot believe that they're doing Little Rock to start things off back to back. I cannot believe that. That's news to me. I was unaware of that. Is this, I need to scroll up through chat. Is this the first we're hearing of this? Like, I knew they weren't done there. I just didn't realize they were starting off back-to-back years in Little Rock. With our luck, Auburn and A&M will be national championship contenders come 2024. Auburn and Tennessee have the toughest schedules next year. Yeah, I want to look at those here in a second. I haven't looked at all of them. Oklahoma should have been on the schedule. Yeah, and that's the other one I really thought was going to be there. I really thought they're going to give Arkansas Oklahoma. I think there's more, well, I don't know about more grounds because you don't have the history with them. You've played, how many times have you played Oklahoma? Obviously, recency bias is a thing. People could argue Mizzou is the bigger. If you wanted to battle between Oklahoma and Mizzou, Mizzou would be the bigger rivalry game, even though it's not a rivalry. But I could see that argument, that side of things. I felt like, we had someone. It was actually, I think it was Tony Brown in our chat who said fans, and I think he's right to a degree. Fans can help stoke the flames of a rivalry, and that is certainly the case between Oklahoma and Arkansas fans, although I think it's died down a lot lately, especially since the Big 12's been garbage. My 2023 season prediction. Tuss Talk with Ty gets featured regularly with the big dogs. Oh, I don't know about all that. RJ Young, SEC Network. In 2023, we're already there, man. No one's picked up and called me. The SEC fandom and media want to meet the man. RJ is a legend. Loves seeing you be featured. Loves seeing you be featured on his show. Wait, what? No, I've not been on RJ's show. Am I reading this wrong? Are you just forecasting I improve? I would love to talk with RJ Young. That'd be great. I would trash on his Big 12. He's a big Tulsa guy, right? Didn't he go to Tulsa in college? No one's correcting me on the LSU thing. So maybe this is just news to me. Ricky Murray says, sorry, if you've seen Joker. If you've seen Joker, fantastic flick. Murray. Ricky Murray, maybe not. This is a 1-year trial for 2024. Still could change to a 9-conference game. Yeah, that's the other question, right? About whether or not. Now, we had a pretty good idea that this was going to be an 8-game schedule. We'd kind of heard the smoke, or seen the smoke, rather, that this was still going to be an 8-game schedule. I do think eventually it'll bleed into a 9-conference schedule, or a 9-conference only schedule. 9-game conference schedule. I think eventually it will be that. Not 2024, probably 2025. I'm going to go ahead and say it. Yeah. It's going to be 8 games this year. Nothing will change. Yeah. Let's see here. All right. Did they put the official schedule on? I mean, I know it's on their little piece here. I want to pull up, see if they did the. Okay. Yeah, Western Carolina is in Little Rock. John said it was Kent State. No, Kent State's in Fayetteville. But that's going to be an interesting weekend because it's Hall of Honor. They're doing it says book your tailgate. I don't know that I've ever noticed that before. They want you to book your tailgates now? Was that a thing last year? I don't remember that either. But it's going to be family weekend, Hall of Honor, then book your tailgate. I guess they're talking about I don't recall seeing that before. Don't tell me they're. Hey, I do want to do what I did last year, although I'd be doing it on behalf of Tuss Talk this year. I do want to visit some tailgates this year. So if you guys are tailgating, let me know, and I'll stop by your tailgate, and I'll eat your food and drink your beer. I'll do it. Yeah, this year you got Western Carolina and Little Rock, September 2nd. Kent State, September 9th. BYU, September 16th. LSU, I mean, we know this schedule. You're at LSU, A&M's in Arlington, Ole Miss, blah, blah, blah. You guys know this schedule, but, yeah. Yeah. Okay. So, don't forget to take the Odd Soul poll. Do that. Go do it. At first glance, the 2024 schedule is the easiest schedule in years for Arkansas. I could have been more specific, like at least the last decade, but you know what? Do with that what you will. What's there? Let's see if we can pull up the rest of these schedules yet. See who someone in chat, Brady Lewis, says Auburn and Tennessee have the toughest schedules next year. So I'm assuming they kept the Alabama-Tennessee rivalry. Oh, yeah, it looks to be the case. But Alabama's going to be on the road next year in 2024. They're going to be in Knoxville. Scroll down here. Florida has Kentucky, LSU, Mississippi State, A&M. So they get Texas. Florida's going to get Texas on the road. So Florida gets to travel to, well, okay, so Tennessee, Mississippi State, Texas. Man. All of a sudden, West Virginia being in the Big 12 doesn't seem as – I mean, that's still a brutal travel. LSU gets Alabama at home, Ole Miss, Oklahoma. Ooh, Oklahoma and LSU at home. Then they get Vanderbilt. On the road in 2024, they get Arkansas, Florida, South Carolina, and A&M. Who'd you say was the other one? The other tough – that's the only schedules I'm seeing right now. Looks like they haven't filled out. Here's Oklahoma. They get Alabama at home, Tennessee at home, South Carolina at home. That's going to be a wonderful trip for South Carolina fans. On the road, Auburn, LSU, Mississippi, and Missouri. They do keep the Red River Shootout, and I'm assuming that would be stupid to get away with that. I may shit talk the Big 12 constantly. Football-wise, I think it's a joke of a conference. I've never respected them. I haven't respected that conference as a Power 5 conference in football for several years. But that is one of It's one of the best rivalries in college football. Like, what are we doing if we're not at least engaging or discussing that at the forefront of top rivalries in college football? That's got to be up there. It's got to be up there for sure. I mean, some people have it number one. You know, I think it's in my probably. I'd say it's easily in my top 5 of college football rivalries. It's a great rivalry game. Those fans do not like each other. You go back far enough, a lot of yeah, those fan bases do not like each other. And, you know, the schools, it's the same thing. And it takes more than fans to create the rivalry. It's got to be stuff that happens on the field. It's got to be organic. And they certainly have history. There's no doubt there. So, the good news for Arkansas, you do get Texas, and you get them at home. You get Tennessee at home. Ole Miss and LSU. Those are your SEC games at home in 2024. Is there any game here, or is there anyone that you wanted to keep on the schedule? Or since they're not doing pods for the moment, they're not doing pods, there's no more East and West, I would love to see if someone wants to take the time to do it, to give me your 8-team SEC schedule, which you would like to have seen. You don't have to put at or home. We know who you would end up having, because, you know, you have to abide by who you already, like the games that have already kind of taken that spot. You know, like LSU, you have on the road this year. So in 24, you'd have them at home. But 2024, you do get LSU. Well, you know what? Hold on. Let's strip that. Just give me your 8 games. I don't really care. Just give me your 8 games you would like to have seen. You're the athletic. You're the commish. You're the CEO of SEC football. I don't know, whatever. You're Greg Sankey. You get to put together Arkansas's 8-game SEC schedule. I want to see it. If you're doing this after the fact, if you're in here live now and you want to be ballsy and do it, I say ballsy. You know what I mean? It takes a minute. You got to think about it. 16 teams. My goodness. Yeah. It is going to be weird to think about the Red River Shootout. It's going to be weird to think that's an SEC rivalry game now. That's weird. That's strange. Just crazy. What's up, Alex Henderson? How you doing, man? UAPB, Okie State, UAPB, blah, 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 blah. Yep. We've already established that. LSU play both USC West and UCLA in 2024. I don't know why we have to host Texas again. The teams we struggle with the most are all on the road. I'd rather swap the Auburn. I would rather swap the Auburn to home and Texas away. Yeah, I think they just wanted to respect what was already there. I mean, I hear what you're saying, but if Arkansas could beat Bama, then that game would be on the schedule. Saban probably chose to give Pittman a break, says Michael Kopesky. Who knows what Arkansas looks like? And you also have to consider something to think about. And this is another reason. I already kind of went over it. Another reason why I'm not going to say the wins and loss totals, because, man, there's a good chance here you're going to lose Rocket Sanders. You're going to lose KJ Jefferson. You're probably going to lose. I mean, the turnover at wide receiver is probably going to be the same as it was this year. Who knows? Now, there could be some bright spots. But, again, thanks to the portal, and up until this most recent portal window, Arkansas's had a history of a mass exodus of guys going into the portal. Now, that so far hasn't been the case in this season. We'll see what happens come December, right? I would like the way it is with OU instead of Mississippi State. Oh, there's a good one. Charles, yeah, if you just want to make a change to the existing schedule. I just want to hear what you guys say. I like that, yeah. Swapping out Mississippi State. Yeah, I agree with that, Charles Alvarez. I agree. I would like that too. I was kind of hoping they would see Oklahoma this year. I wanted Oklahoma and Texas. I want those two. Swap out Mizzou. I tell you what, keep Mississippi State and swap them out with Mizzou. Swap them out. Tyzilla. Boy, I don't get called that very often. What's up, Patrick Champion? Hope you're doing well. We literally have 6 or 7 teams on the same level as us at the moment. Yeah, I agree. I think that's true. Or I think that's to a degree. I think that's right. Thought Arkansas State was 2024. I think Arkansas State's 2025. Is that right? Hang on. We can look that up. Because there is Razorback football 2025 schedule. You have those FBSschedule.com. Yeah, that's 2025 according to FBS schedules. According to FBS schedules, again, I don't know that all these games are going to stick it out because you're supposed to play Notre Dame. If that's still, I think that's still on, right? Because I get the history mixed up. If this is, God, this might actually end up being a pretty crazy schedule. According to this, and this is FBSschedules.com, 2025, they have Missouri State, Arkansas State Red Wolves at Memphis. Bro. At Memphis? Dude, that's worse than at BYU. Why are they playing? That better be some bullshit right there. That better be some bullshit. And then you have Notre Dame again, that's according to FBSschedules.com, 2025. You know, because they do announce these games. You know, you have to schedule them years in advance. That better be some bullshit. Is that a neutral site or something? Simmons Bank, Liberty Stadium. Why is that not just a home game? Like, what are we doing? Anyways, this stuff makes my blood boil. A-State 25. Yeah, Arkansas State's 2025. Lots to look forward to. KJ and Rocket may be gone, but we portal may be gone, but we portal to look forward to. Yeah, you still have the portal. Yeah. And you still have Jacoby Criswell. I mean, we can't forget. We'll see where he's at. I like having OU in Texas instead of Missouri much better. I agree, Alex. I agree. Give me those two. Swap out Mizzou. You know, and beggars can't be choosers. I get it. You know, but and again, if you're just joining, this is the way the 2024 schedule, the complete 2024 SEC schedule with game dates will be announced later this year. So we know this is incomplete. But UAPB in Little Rock, Oklahoma State, UAB, and again, you're at Oklahoma State. Louisiana Tech, no, that's August 31st, September 7th, September 14th, November 23rd. LSU, Ole Miss, Tennessee, Texas, all scheduled to be in Fayetteville. We know those dates are going to get moved around. At Auburn, at Mississippi State, at Missouri, and then you have – so you see why they did what they did. Okay, yeah, so these games, they won't be consecutive. Giving this a second thought. Yeah, these won't be – so these dates are going to be all over the place. So really we only know August 31st, September 7th, September 14th, November 23rd. After that, you know the opponents. We just don't know when they're going to play them. I like it. I do. I'm not going to lie. I knew we weren't – no one's going to be fully satisfied, right? I wanted OU on here. I'm glad you don't have Bama. The crappy part about that is that would have been a home game. Arkansas would have played them in Fayetteville. That is the shitty part about this. But at the same time, when has that mattered? I mean, let's be real. When has that mattered? Since Ben Cleveland was here, that's when. That's the last time that mattered. Oh, man. Yeah. Yeah. Lastly, I want to say, and I should start off with this. I do want to say thoughts and prayers out to Deion Stutz, Arkansas Razorback commit, recently passed away. Really sad, unfortunate, but Deion Stutz passed away, Arkansas commit. This is a guy I've listened, you know, I've had conversations with people who had nothing but good things to say about him. A great kid, really unfortunate. Thoughts and prayers out to the family. Man, I mean, it's always tough, man, when they're that young. I mean, it's tough losing anybody, but golly, dude, he has his whole life ahead of him. So, prayers. It's just unfortunate, really sad. So, that's going to do it. Remember, the goal is 2 to 3 bits of content a week. I do plan on, I've actually got an edited video script set aside that I'm going to try and get done this week, Lord willing. And I'm going to try and get you guys something on Friday. We may still go live Friday. Just make sure, like I always say, you've hit the subscribe button, you've got the notification bell. And I know that doesn't always work, even when you do that. But, hey, that's all I can tell you. I try to give you guys a heads up in Discord. And, of course, I'll always tweet out when I'm live. That'll always be out there. So you can always follow me and all that on Twitter. So hopefully one way or another you'll know. As we get closer to the season, that'll obviously change. We'll go to a set schedule, but during the off season, it's been this way for a couple of years. I kind of just go all over the place during the off season. So thank you guys so much for being here. Don't forget, we started new tiers on Patreon. We've got brand new tiers. We just started this. I want to show you guys here really quick. We just started. I just put this all together this week. If you want to, I can take this off now. That can go away. If you want to venture on over here, you want to join, you want to sign up, $4 is this is the low end here. You still get access to everything. You get you've got the $8 plus club, and then you have the legendary status with the red tusk there. Yeah. So that's all going to start next month, July. And starting in July, we'll do name shout-outs and all that stuff for the $20 donors. We may splash your name on the screen, give you a personal shout-out, all that stuff. I say personal. It'd be here. And if we're not going live three times a week, then, you know, if it's edited content, then we'll work your name in one way or another on the edited content, on the non-shorts. Obviously, shorts work different because you only get 59 seconds of content. So, yeah, your name may not be on that. But, I don't know, maybe we'll work it in. You know, it's all kind of cut and go. So, let me make sure here. All right, that's it. I appreciate you guys. I'll see you on the next one. If I'm live again, hopefully you guys will get a notification. If you didn't get a notification and you're watching this after the fact, I apologize. It's not my fault. Blame YouTube and all their infinite wisdom. Go blame them. Go write an email. Write your local congressman. All right, I'll talk to you guys later. Have a good week.